Nintendo announced the new Splatfest theme today, and it's bad. What, you want me, professional video essayist, to elaborate? The nerve. The Gear Grub Fun Splatfest from earlier in the game's lifespan is noteworthy in my memory for having a fatal flaw. That flaw being that there was actually a correct answer to the question. If you're stranded on a deserted island, Gear is going to give you the best chance of surviving out of any of the three, given most of the sets of assumptions we could make about the scenario. Anyone who has so much as watched a TV show on the subject of survival will probably be able to logic that out. Food isn't even the biggest problem. You can survive for weeks without food. Water's the biggest concern, and Gear's a lot more likely to be helpful in securing that. Sure, maybe we could say it's an unlimited supply of whatever food you want all the time, in which case I guess you could just ask for a bunch of watermelon or canned soup or cereal and milk, and then water's not going to be a problem anymore, but that didn't seem to be the most reasonable interpretation of the question. Fun had potential to be an ironic meme answer, but with a player base the size of Splatoon's, you'd need the whole community of players to be tapped into the source of that meme for it to have a significant impact on the results. There'd need to be some major social media platform or in-game form of communication that it can spread from. And that's hard to get to happen on a large scale across language barriers. Gear was the correct answer to the question, so it got an overwhelming popularity vote and won the Splatfest pretty decisively. Matters of opinion are great. Which Ninja Turtle is your favorite? Love that one, because they're all designed to be likable and appeal to different types of person. It's like a person's favorite Pokemon. Very, very few Pokemon aren't actually someone's favorite. There's so many of them, but again, they're all designed to be appealing, so there's going to be more controversy. Orange juice with and without pulp. Brilliant! People will like different things for different reasons. These make for great Splatfest topics. But when the question isn't, which is your favorite, and it becomes, which of these is best for you, sometimes there is just a correct answer. No, a deck of cards is not going to help me on a deserted island as much as a knife or a container for water or even a stash of canned food. We've been given another Splatfest like this in the Money, Fame, Love Splatfest. Let's just throw fame out of there right away. I made a video about this on this channel. No one wants to be famous for fame's sake. The only thing you're going to get from fame is hopefully enough money that you're able to keep yourself safe from your more irrational fans. The brand image you're developing can only be cashed in for cash. It's not going to make you friends. In fact, it's going to make it more difficult to make friends, because then you won't know whether they're your friends or they're just friends with your money or your public persona. You're not going to be happier just because other people think well of you, because then you're only happy when you're more well-liked than you've ever been before, and anything less feels like your value is diminishing. You grow numb to praise when everyone is praising you, and it comes to feel normal and expected. It's stressful to live like that. Being liked in that way isn't social, it's parasocial, and parasocial relationships aren't real enough to carry us by themselves. I've already defined fame's value relative to money and love. That fame only matters in the pursuit of those two things anyway. If you want to go way out there and consider fame to include recognition for your work, for success in your career, where success is not defined by amount of money earned, but actually by a job well done, now we've got a more interesting conversation. If you manage to, say, develop a new technology or procedure that changes the world for the better, and that's why you're famous, that's fulfilling and worthwhile, but that's not how most people are going to interpret this. That's a big reach at best, if not an outright misinterpretation of the word fame. Sorry, Fry, but you're very wrong here. There are some better arguments for money, which isn't saying much, but credit where credit is due. Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a very commonly cited basic psychology 101 level idea that in order to access personal fulfillment, to be as happy as you can possibly be, you need to first meet your physiological needs and be safe and secure. That without your needs being met, you're going to have major barriers to loving relationships and fulfilling your personal potential. This is something I ran into all the time as a teacher. You just can't teach students that media literacy, resisting propaganda, being a good citizen is important before that student and their family are getting enough to eat. Money is extremely helpful for building a foundation on which that personal growth can happen, keeping you safe, secure, getting you access to the food and shelter and medical care you need. But even in the situations you hear stories about, where people work hard and manage to significantly improve their economic status, even if we decide philosophically that it's okay, that it takes extraordinary effort to do so, that many people will not be able to do that for unfair reasons, you know what you hear everyone saying they did it for? So I can provide a better life for my family. That's the line you hear all the time. At the end of the day, the money was all for the sake of love. Just like we immediately put fame in last place because its full value can be measured in its potential to produce money. If the whole point of getting money is so that you can get your physiological needs out of the way and experience love, then love is clearly the more important of the two. If you narrowly interpret love to only mean romantic love, and allow money a more broad interpretation, sure, there's an argument for money pragmatically having more influence over human life, being more, quote, important, unquote, at this moment in time. Romantic love doesn't even necessarily make everyone happy. Some people are aromantic. The social interactions they want are with friends and family. But that's not the only way that the word love gets used, and there's a long history of it being more broadly interpreted.
You were my brother, Anakin! I loved you!
One angle I could see Team Money taking is thinking, well, massive amounts of money can influence politics. There's a counter-argument that love can also influence politics, where we define love as feelings of mutual, unconditional well-wishing among many people, and not just romantic partners. Love wins, after all, is a slogan that's changed a lot of laws in the last decade or so. But that requires a large amount of people to be involved and be on the same page, which tends only to happen for very popular issues, and is hard to get when things get more granular and specific. The amount of money a single super-rich individual has can, if not purchase the government itself under the table, at least purchase the lobbying to make far more specific changes with far less consent from the general public. Which is, terrifying, but it happens. There's also the argument that money gives you the power to make more influential decisions than any one loving relationship between two people can give. But even then, what are you using that power for, if not to remake the world in the way you think will provide most for at least your own personal fulfillment, for at least your own ability to experience love?
It just don't mean a thing if you ain't got love.
Dolly Parton is Team Love, y'all. And she went from being one of 12 children supported by her dad's work as a sharecropper to a very wealthy singer and philanthropist. She's seen what not having money and fame is like, and she's seen what having money and fame is like. And she wrote this song with that knowledge. A lot of my videos are also dating advice. I've made a lot less advice to y'all about how to make money. And I've advised you all not to get famous. Team Love is just the right answer for the majority of sets of assumptions we can make about the question. And that's super boring for the Splatfest, because it means a likely blowout, a lot of mirror matches with other Team Love teams, possible difficulties with queue times even, and less interesting debates to be had about it all online. At this point, I'd rather we just think of it as a shiver-fried big man Splatfest, because at least then it's a matter of opinion, even if it's one that arguably has already had an impact on every other Splatfest and has been thoroughly discussed time and time again already. Maybe more people will think differently than I predict, though looking at the React roles in my server, that's not the way things are trending at the moment. In any case, the pink color of Team Love is pretty on brand. If I wanted fame, I wouldn't have made a video about how I don't want fame, and if I wanted money that badly, I wouldn't have become a teacher. Y'all know where I'm at. And I guess where Dolly Parton's at. Love wins, easy clap. Hopefully we get some more controversial Splatfest topics in the future.